I saw a lot of you out there waiting for the DJI Air 3S. You really liked the DJI Air 3, but you wanted that 1-inch sensor. Well, here it is, the DJI Air 3S with a 1-inch sensor. What's going on, guys? My name is Dan Davis, and I'm the creative director here on DansTube.TV, which is Australia's #1 drone YouTube channel. And today I've got my review of the newly released DJI Air 3S. First things first, this does look very similar to the DJI Air 3. Everything from the batteries to the sensors, to the way that it's built, to the way that it flies, it all feels very similar to the DJI Air 3, but with the S model here, we have a few standout features. Now, the first thing is that we do get a gorgeous 1-inch sensor. Now, a lot of you were waiting for this. You really enjoyed the Air 2S. You liked the Air 3, but you thought, I need a 1-inch sensor. It's kind of hard to justify that. So with the Air 3S, we do get that 1-inch sensor, and we also get the medium telephoto system that we saw on the Air 3, which is a phenomenal camera system. But on top of that, we're getting a LiDAR sensor right on the front of the drone. So from what I can gather here, the LiDAR sensor is extremely sensitive to low light situations. So that means that really in any sort of condition you can imagine, the LiDAR sensor is going to help your drone return to home, but it's also going to help the drone track you in different lighting conditions. The main camera system here is a 1-inch sensor, which is a huge upgrade over the Air 3. A lot of you out there were waiting for this. You really like the Air 2S 1-inch sensor. It is able to capture 50 megapixel stills, which is insanely good. We're also getting 4K 60 frames per second in HDR. And on top of that, we're getting 4K 120 frames per second in slow motion. So a few really big upgrades there. And on top of that, we do get that gorgeous medium telephoto system, which is still one of my favorite camera systems on a drone. So we had that on the Air 3, but on the Air 3S, we're getting that with a 1-inch sensor as the main wide camera system. The medium telephoto camera system can still capture 4K 60 FPS in HDR, and on top of that, we're getting the 4K up to 120 frames per second in slow-mo. There will be a bunch of footage that you'll be seeing throughout this video where I showcase both the wide camera angle, which is that 1-inch sensor, as well as the 70mm medium telephoto system, which is gorgeous. And I'll show you the 4K with that HDR all the way up to the 4K 120 frames in full slow motion. So both camera systems offer that. You're not having any limitations here, and they both look gorgeous. The medium telephoto camera system can capture 48 megapixel stills, and it is a 1/1.3-inch CMOS sensor. It does support all of the same video specs as well as imaging modes from the primary camera system, so you're not missing out on any modes here or any features, which is really, really nice. On top of that, both lenses do support 14 stops of dynamic range. So you will see in the videos that it is gorgeous. That 14 stops of dynamic range makes a huge difference, and we're getting two really solid camera systems here. I found that when I was using both camera systems, I didn't have any limitations. I could use any of the modes, any of the features that I wanted with both camera systems. Even when you switch between the camera systems, there's not a huge change. Very similar in terms of the color profiles. When we look at the wide camera angle, which is that 1-inch sensor, it is a 24mm equivalent. It does have a fixed aperture at f1.8. And then when we look at the medium telephoto camera system, it is a 70mm equivalent, and it has a fixed aperture at f2.8. So you can see that the 1-inch sensor is going to be better in low light, but they both do a really good job here. And that's a huge bonus, the fact that you can switch between the two perspectives and it's still going to look phenomenal. If you are interested in the DJI Air 3S or another drone from DJI, maybe another camera system, then definitely check my links down below. If you're based in Australia, you can go to DJI Australia, which is d1store.com.au, use the code DANSTUBE on their website, and you can save on most drones, cameras, and accessories. I'll also have some other links down below for my international audience, so check those all out. They will be down there. When we look at the color profiles, you do get normal, HLG, and D-Log-M. There is the option for both 8-bit and 10-bit video from both camera systems. And keep in mind that you do have the option to bump in with the zoom just a little bit more. So in terms of zoom, we've got digital zoom up to 9 times, but just native when we're going from the 1 times, which is just the wide camera, to the 3 times, which is the 70mm. They're the fixed points. And then from there, you can go from 1 times up to 2.9 times with digital zoom with the main camera system. And then with the telephoto, we can go from 3 times all the way up to 9 9x, which would then be the digital zoom. Really cool, especially if you're scouting out a location. Bumping into 9x with that digital zoom just gives you an overlay of what's happening in that area before you even go and investigate. One of the huge offerings here is that forward-facing LiDAR sensor, and there's infrared sensors at the bottom of the aircraft as well. So you will see some video right now popping up, just showcasing how well the drone can track in low light situations. It really is impressive what it can do, because there are times that it can become overcast. There are times that you might be in an area where there's a lot of cover, so you might not have the best lighting condition, or maybe you're flying around sunset, so you don't have the best light again. So just having that LiDAR sensor makes a huge difference, especially when you are tracking something and the drone is flying forward. It just gives you that extra range to actually be able to see what's happening in those lower light conditions. So we still get the omnidirectional obstacle avoidance, which we saw on the Air 3. So it's the same systems that we've got there, the same obstacle avoidance. But then on top of that, we're getting the LiDAR sensor, which gives us better low light tracking and also better low light return to home options. Just to dive a little bit deeper into that obstacle avoidance and how powerful the LiDAR sensor is and how great the Air 3 is in low light, it can now actually sense obstacles and objects in the environment all the way down to 1 lux. And 1 lux is approximately the illuminance of 1 candle at 1 meter distance. 10 lux is typically street brightness, and we can go all the way to 1 lux. So that means that if you're in an environment where it's really dark and you're trying to track something, like I said, in a sunset kind of scenario, or maybe there's a lot of cover, you're in the bush and there's a lot of cover and it's really dark, it's maybe overcast, the drone is still going to be able to pick up on obstacles that are in the environment regardless of the lighting conditions. So the LiDAR sensor also does a really great job of accounting for different types of environments and scenarios. So something like glass, even like a plain colored wall, which previously might not be picked up on. So glass, for example, the drone might be confused by that, but with that LiDAR sensor, it's even more efficient when it comes to avoiding obstacles and when it comes to actually picking up on its environment. There are a few controller options, and so I've been actually using the DJI RC N3. You can use the DJI RC2 as well, both phenomenal options. You're getting 20 kilometers of range, which is huge, and you're also getting a battery life of about 45 minutes. Now that's what they quote in a perfect scenario, probably getting about 38 minutes realistically to bring the drone back and to keep it nice and close before you land it. So maybe around 38 minutes, but they're quoting 45 minutes from the battery in a perfect scenario in their tests. So for me, the Air 3 was a phenomenal drone. I still love that drone, it's great, but I know a lot of people are waiting for the 1-inch sensor, and I think the Air 3S is going to appeal to a lot of people, especially to people who had the Air 2S. This is the upgrade to go for. Now you get that 1-inch sensor, you get the LiDAR sensor on it, you're getting all of the amazing stuff we saw with the Air 3. So you are getting that great range, you're getting OcuSync 4, you're getting awesome battery life on it. It does come with waypoints, it comes with cruise control, comes with all of those features that you know and love. One thing I did notice as well, which was really cool when I started testing it, is that now it seems to actually track your face. Now I don't know if that's going to come out to other drones. At the time of me testing this, the drone isn't actually available just yet. So I found that it would actually have face tracking, which was really cool. That means that I'm always going to be the focus, and it means that it knows where my face is to track me. So that was really cool, and I found that that did a great job when I was taking photos up close of myself. The other thing was that they added another button now, so you can click on it and it will enable the focus track. It will enable subject scanning. So when you press that button, it will bring up pluses all over cars, boats, and people. Anything that it can track, it will bring it up, and it performed really well. Like even when there's a lot of stuff going on, a lot of different pluses everywhere, it doesn't seem to slow anything down. It still performs extremely well. It's an amazing, it's like such an impressive piece of technology. The processing power that this thing can do is actually insane. So on that note, it is everything that we saw in the Air 3 with some added bonuses here with the Air 3S. So all of those features I mentioned before and everything that we had in the Air 3 does come across to the Air 3S, but then we're getting that improved camera system and the LiDAR sensor. The fact that it's got the same battery system, it's got the same design, like everything looks very similar here. This is actually one of my favorite drones for its flight performance. I find it's really, really stable in the sky. It can handle really any sort of wind condition that I put it through. And it's a great drone. It can fly fast. It can keep up with you regardless of what you're doing when it comes to tracking. It's just a solid all-round drone. And I know a lot of people have been waiting for this 1-inch sensor. So I think that this is a great opportunity to upgrade if you do have the Air 2S. And this is a phenomenal new drone from DJI. So anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. I appreciate all of the amazing support. I will chat to you in the next video and talk to you soon. Peace.